everyone, today I'm going to share with you the questions that you should ask yourself before you buy a property. So, many questions that come into your mind before you buy a property. This or that. Like for example, should I buy project or should I buy subsales? Project or subsales? Actually, project has a lot of benefits because developers give a lot of rebates and free items such as the free legal fees for SPN loan agreement and also rebates, which also you can enjoy the zero down payment packages. You don't have to pay the initial 10% deposit so that you can actually save a lot of money, and maybe you just get a little bit of booking fee, sometimes 1,000 or 5,000 only, but sometimes the booking fee is also zero. That means you don't need to pay anything, you just have to apply for the loan and you will get the property. And currently we also have the HOC campaign, the house ownership campaign, where the government actually free the MOT for up to 1 million SPA price. For those who don't know what is MOT, MOT is actually the stamp duty to transfer the title. So you need to pay the stamp duty when you are doing the transfer. However, subsales, you have to pay the 10% deposit and you need to get the cash ready to pay your own legal fees for your SPN loan agreement. That one you have to prepare at least few thousand ringgit. Depends on your SPA price. So the calculation, I'm not going into details. You actually can go to the website and search how to calculate the legal fees for SPN and loan agreement. You just need to prepare the money. And for subsales, if you have the cash ready, you can go for subsales. There's actually a benefit for subsales as well, because for subsales you actually can go and look on the conditions of the property itself. Then you can see the real thing, whereby the projects you only can know based on the scale model and also based on the concept and illustration or the artist's impression by the developer. So it may have some risk over there because sometimes, when they deliver, it's actually not up to the expectation that you have. But subsales, you actually can go and take a look of the environment, the real situation and condition of the property. Another thing to consider is whether you can wait or you want to move in immediately. Of course, project, you have to wait at least 2 to 3 years. If subsales, you can move in within 6 months if everything runs smoothly. So it depends. You have to think wisely because project, maybe you really have to wait, and then for financing part, you also need to consider whether you can pay out the installment immediately or not. Let's say if you buy a project, you can wait until 2 to 3 years to pay the full installment, so you can arrange your financing whether you can afford to pay for the installment or not. If you can afford immediately, you can buy subsales. Actually, when you choose project or subsales, it's very easy whether you have that kind of money to buy subsales or not. Subsales versus project, anytime subsales, the prices of subsale will be lower than the project. Should I buy high-rise or should I buy landed? High-rise or landed? So high-rise or landed, usually landed will be located a little bit further from the city. Let's say if it is project, then it will be located a little bit further. But for high-rise, usually for those current new projects, they will be nearby the city center and the location will be more to the prime area. So it depends on what requirement that you actually need, like how much space that you need, and also what is your family size. Let's say you need a bigger space, then you should go for landed. If you think that you like the facilities and so on, the security and the lifestyle, maybe you can go for high-rise. And also you need to consider what kind of environment that you like. Whether you like landed property because of the car park area, you don't like condominium, or you don't like the high-rise, it's because the car park, the podium car park, that you have to turn around. So It's really up to you, high-rise or landed. You just need to think that what is your own requirement and also the budget itself. So of course, landed property will be more expensive. If you don't have the budget, maybe you can consider condo, which is below 500,000. You are still able to get 500,000 condominium, 500,000 or below. Actually, I want to buy a landed. I'm looking for a double-story terrace, but my budget is only 300,000. Can you propose me if there is any 300,000 double-story landed? Seriously? Do you really think you can get 300,000 landed in Selangor or KL area? Be realistic. If there is 300,000 landed property, then I don't think it will be yours or mine to buy, because there will be a lot of investors and richer people who bulk purchase it and resell it at a higher value. At the end of the day, the end consumer will be also about 500,000 and over. Should I buy for own stay or should I buy for investment? Many times I ask my client before whether you are buying for your own stay or whether you are buying for investment. Sometimes they will just tell me it's both. So it's very hard to decide, because when you are buying a property, there are different things or different requirements that you need to consider, whether for own stay or investment, because both criteria or both things to consider are really totally different. So you cannot say like your main purpose is both, because you cannot get one property which can meet all the conditions. So when you buy for own stay, you need to really see on your own requirement and needs, like such as the location, whether you want to choose that is near to your workplace or to near to your family, and also whether the amenities around, whether it's suitable for you, as well as the space that you need. So both of the purpose will be different, so you cannot say you want to have both, because when you choose a property, there's no such thing to meet both conditions. When you want to consider for investment, then it's a really different things to consider, such as the investment, the rental yield, and the capital appreciation of the property. So the location is very important as well for the investment, whether it's near to MRT station, whether it's nearby the amenities. So for own stay, you will look into your own requirement instead, but for investment, you don't look at your own requirement, but instead of, you only look on the figures, the finances. You need to prioritize one of it, because both purposes are very different and you need to decide. So I hope the client will decide when they look for a property, they should decide whether actually they look for their own stay, or for investment. Should I buy now or should I buy later? So people will ask me, buy now or later. It all depends whether your finances are already ready or not. Currently, of course, a lot of benefits if you buy it now. First is the interest rate is already dropped. So mostly of the banks now, the rate about 2.9% up to 3.2%. So it's considered very low in history, because previously it's about 4.3 or 4 to 4.5 or even higher. So it's very worth it to buy it now. And another thing is because of the HOC campaign, the house ownership campaign, you will get MOT fee waiver from the government up to the first 1 million SPA price if you buy projects. So, and also for first home buyer, you also can get the MOT fee waiver. So it's beneficial to buy it now. Of course, if you buy it now, you also can enjoy the prices now. Of course, currently the market demand, you will see there's some drop in the subsales market, especially in the condo units, because there are more supply than the demand. However, in future, if the market pick up, it will still increase. if the market pick up, the property price will still be increasing, because as you can see by common sense, a lot of things now the prices are keep increasing. So I don't think any drastic drop for the property. Should I buy a freehold property or should I buy a leasehold property? So what is freehold or what is leasehold? So freehold is actually you own the property forever. The title and property will be forever belongs to you and you own it. But for leasehold, technically you don't really own it. It's just like you actually own it for a period of time, which is it's like a leasing concept from the land or state authority. So usually in Malaysia you will get about 99 years maximum. Okay, sometimes it's 90 years, it depends on the title itself. And then leasehold is usually located at the prime area, and sometimes on the prime area there's no more freehold property, so it's a little bit difficult to get. So for example, KL area, a lot of times the property itself is a leasehold title. So if you want to search for freehold title, you have to be prepared yourself to find somewhere that is not too prime area. Maybe like in Cyberjaya, there's a lot of freehold property, and also certain areas also freehold. But for leasehold and freehold, for me it doesn't make any difference, because the leasehold actually you own it for 99 years. And for capital appreciation, of course freehold property will keep on increasing. In future it will keep on increasing, the graph will be very consistent. And for leasehold property, if let's say the lease period is getting shorter, then it will getting stagnant. So the graph itself for the capital appreciation, at the end of the day, the freehold property will be actually be higher than the leasehold property. Sometimes clients don't mind about the leasehold property is because they know they won't outlive 99 years. So that's why they're okay with leasehold property, because usually the prices are more affordable and lesser than the freehold property. So they go for leasehold instead, and they actually buying it for own stay. So they don't mind about the capital appreciation. And then just imagine if you want the grandchildren to inherit your property. So after 100 years, I don't think they want the property at all, since like the property itself is so old and so on. You need to have a refurbish and so on. So if you think about capital appreciation, you want to have a higher capital appreciation in future, because you know you want to resell it in 10 or 20 years time. So maybe you can consider a freehold property, because you will have more value in future, and when you sell it, you will get a lot of money back, I can say that. And it all depends. If let's say you really buy it and you want to resell it in the short term, it doesn't matter leasehold or freehold. Of course freehold will still fetch a higher price. It's really up to you to decide.